I'm going to try to give her a call. Listen in on stream. All right, so for those of you who don't know or tuning in late, I'm going to call my mom's. She is in South Florida right now. Of course, South Florida is just starting to feel the very first effects of Hurricane Irma. And she's gonna give us a live update of what's going on in South Florida from her 70-year-old perspective. I don't know her phone number by heart though, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna call her using Google Hangouts. All right.
But I poop from there.
Let's see. New conversation.
Anything wrong with the bill, Martin?
All right. So. All right, so before I make this call, let me give you guys the full story here. I'm a little tipsy right now. All right, so my mom and stepfather live in Boca Raton, Florida, about 40 to 50 minutes north of Miami if there's no traffic. All of Florida, Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade counties, all of South Florida has been ordered to evacuate, yet they're not leaving. They're staying. They're staying because of my stepfather's fish. He's got a really fancy saltwater fish tank that he spent a lot of money on. It's got live coral, pretty much all the fish from Finding Nemo, all the little fish from Finding Nemo anyway. And he refuses to leave because if the power goes out, he's got a generator there. If the power goes out, he can plug in the generator and keep the fish tank running. This has caused me, of course, a lot of anxiety and stress and worry. And after talking to my mom today, I'm a little bit more reassured that everything is going to be okay. Because I didn't know the details of what she has been through in that house before. My mother has lived in Florida since 1983. I first moved to Florida in 1983 with her and my dad. I left after my 7th grade year of school, went to Connecticut, did a year of private school in Pennsylvania, did my 8th grade year in Connecticut, did my sophomore, junior, and part of my senior year in Connecticut, then came back to Florida, where I finished off my senior year and lived for a few years before I joined the Army. So I've been in and out of Florida. I did fourth grade through 7th grade in Florida, and 3/4 of my senior year in Florida, plus a couple years after that. My mother, though, has been there since 1982 on. Every hurricane that has hit South Florida since 1982, my mother has gone through. I think we had Hurricane Gloria in like 1984 or so, just brushed off the coast. She's also been through Hurricane Wilma, Hurricane Andrew, a couple others in between. And you know, it's just going to be nice to call the moms the eve of the hurricane. So that's what we're going to do. Get some audio here. Yeah. Let's see if she even answers.
Hello.
Hey, Mom, it's me.
Hi there.
Can you hear me all right?
I hear you just fine.
Oh, good. Okay, Mom. So I am live streaming right now. I've got about 60 people watching my stream. And I think the thing that they would like to hear first is a first-hand account of how things are in Florida right now from someone who actually lives there. What's it like? What's it like on the ground right now in South Florida?
Who's am Am I going to be anonymous?
Yes, you're just mom. You're a mom in South Florida.
Okay. So you just want to ask me some questions?
Yeah, yeah. And the first question is, what's it like on the ground in South Florida right now?
What's the what?
What's it like on the ground in South Florida right now?
What's it like on the ground?
Yeah.
You mean the weather or the attitude of the people?
Let's
Or
start.
both?
Well, let's start with the weather.
The weather?
Yeah.
It's cloudy, it's hot, and slightly windy.
Slightly windy. Okay, so you're not really feeling the.
But I am on the East Coast.
Okay, and is this thing really gonna?
Southeast Coast.
Right. So is this thing really gonna go West Coast now? Is that for sure?
Well, it looks like the storm is headed more west now than instead. It's not projected to hit us head on, but it's such a big storm. We'll still get heavy wind and rain.
Okay. Okay. Now, if you could tell us a little bit about your previous experiences with hurricanes in South Florida and why you're not worried about leaving.
Well, okay, I've lived here over 30 years, and there's been quite a few hurricanes. The most scary one was Andrew back in the 80s, I think it was.
No, August 24th, 1992.
Anyway, that one was headed straight for us, and it was very scary. We were living in a one-story home at the time, and but it changed direction, and we didn't get it, which was good. And we haven't had a hurricane directly hit in our area for 12 years now. But previous to that, the most recent after that was 12 years ago was Wilma, which was a Category 4. And then there were two hurricanes previous to that came like every month or two. I'm sorry, I don't really have the history of it. But the hurricane just before Wilma was a Category 3.
What can I get for you?
We live in a 3-story townhome. My office is on the 3rd floor, and it scared me to death.
Okay,
we did not at that time we did not have shutters, and we were just not as prepared. It's a very frightening thing because it makes so much noise, and because of the height of this townhome and the 3rd floor, it kind of the wind vibrated it, and it scared me to death. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. So, but the Category 4 came from a different direction from the west, and we left town for that one, and we headed south down to the Keys with family because it was coming from the west and it wasn't supposed to hit in the Keys, and it didn't. We had squalls from it, but we didn't have hurricane. Anyway, nothing happened to our home. So since then, because we realize how dangerous they can be, we have learned to really prepare. We got shutters, hurricane shutters, accordion, hurricane shutters. We have lots of windows and big windows and sliding glass doors, and there's big windows right up in that 3rd floor office of mine, a great big one. So anyway, we have everything covered, every opening covered with hurricane protection. And let's see. There's all kinds of ways we prepare. Do you want to hear more?
Well, yeah. Tell us about the garage door. That's the part that actually intrigues me the most.
The garage door. We have our garage door is hurricane proof. It's a hurricane garage door.
Was it like steel reinforced or something? What's so special about the garage door that makes it hurricane proof?
I'm not sure how they just made it so that it can withstand It can withstand Category 5 winds.
So okay,
So
so what happens then? Okay, so the hurricane comes, it takes out. I mean, it's leveling everything around you, but your house is standing. You got the hurricane shutters. You got this really good constructed home with cement tile roof and everything, but the power goes out. What do you do when the power goes out? Because okay, well, first before you go into that, what?
I'm sorry, what?
I said, before you go into what happens when the power goes out, tell us why tell us why you're not leaving your home.
When the power goes out, we use a what's it called?
A generator.
We have a generator, and the generator can run 3 large things at a time. And we have battery lanterns.
Right, but
and,
why?
And we have a gas. We have gas hot water. We have a gas stove. Our kitchen stove is gas, so we can cook. We can have hot water. We can see, and we can keep our food from spoiling. So, and you know, you open the windows and just sweat through it until the electricity comes back.
Okay, but now tell my viewers why you're not leaving South Florida.
Why are we not leaving?
Yes.
Because we had a Category 4 before, and we had nothing got hurt.
But mom, we want to hear about the fish. Tell us about the fish.
The fish?
Yes, tell us about the fish.
Well, we have a fish tank. That's one of the reasons. You know, it just doesn't make sense to leave, particularly for this storm. Irma is huge. And I know people that drove over to Tampa, and now it's headed to Tampa. I know people that drove up to Tallahassee, and maybe it's going to hit Tallahassee. So where do you go?
Well, there is nowhere to go unless you fly out, and that's damn near impossible right now.
Just no reason to leave. Our home is built with cinder blocks. We have cement tile roof. This house is not going to go anywhere. If we were closer to the ocean, we would have evacuated. We're 2.5, 3 miles from the ocean, so we're not in an evacuation zone. And well, there's no reason to leave.
All right. So, in other words, with all the preparations you have done, with all the money that you guys have spent to ensure that you guys are safe, there's no reason to get out in those crazy roads and evacuate somewhere that could be even more dangerous, right?
That's right. Well, we have wind insurance. We pay premium to have wind insurance. So if a tree limb goes through somewhere, I don't know where it would go, but or springs a leak in our roof, the insurance will cover it.
Okay. Well, Mom. Around most of the places outside of Florida, they're just getting the national news, and the national news says, yeah, it's bad, or it's going to be a disaster, and everybody run for your life, blah, 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 blah. What if tomorrow, when I'm doing my stream tomorrow, what if we called you again so we could get your firsthand account of what's happening without all the news hoopla that happens?
I know. It gives them something to talk about.
Right. Well, right.
We also know that they hyped it up, but I know a lot of people don't listen.
Right.
My husband, John, went out on Sunday, last Sunday, after church, and filled up the car tank with gas. He went to Costco and bought 5 cases of water. And Monday morning at 6 a.m., he went and filled up the other car with gas, and he filled 2 gas tanks.
Okay, so
Extra gas tanks, and
so Mom,
we're just, we did this before the big rush.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys have done this before. You know what to do. You know what's going on, and you know how to handle it. So, what about tomorrow? Tomorrow evening, can I call you again tomorrow evening, and you just give us your real firsthand account of what's happening in Florida?
Well, I don't think it's going to start until later tomorrow, but you're welcome to call tomorrow too.
Okay. All right. Well, Mom, thank you very much. I love you very much, and
I love you too.
okay. And say goodbye to everybody watching right now.
Okay.
Bye, Mom.
I will talk to you tomorrow then, okay?
Okay. Bye, Mom.
Okay. Bye.
All right. My mother. She's over 70 years old. So it can be, she can't hear very well. I love her to death. You know, it's my mom. You gotta love your mom, right? But she drives me to drink. All right. Yeah, so we'll call her tomorrow. We'll get the